Welcome to Yummy Mummy Podcast with Lisa Jane. Today's episode is brought to you by me, Scratch Kitchen.
Welcome to Yummy Mummy Podcast with Lisa Jane, where I show you how to be a parent, partner and lover in modern society while staying true to yourself. Hello, Lisa Jane here. Thanks so much for joining me for this episode, which is an uncut recording of myself. It's if you're watching on YouTube, this is a vlog, and if you're listening, I'm calling it a plog, a podcast blog. And I just want to talk to you about the reasons why I became a whole food, plant-based person. I consume whole foods, foods that are not animal produce. So I eat lots of fruit, veggies, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices, legumes, grains. Well, not so much of that, but more so the fruit and veggies and nuts, seeds, herbs, spices. And the reason why I did that, well, 4 years ago, little Miss, my daughter, who was 4 at the time, she was malnourished. Now, when she was a toddler walking around, she had quite big belly, and I was really concerned, but a lot of people were telling me that she'll grow out of it. I'm really lucky that I investigated and started seeing a naturopath, because what we found was her body wasn't absorbing vitamins and minerals. She had parasites in her stomach and we were feeding them. And also the water she was drinking was just coming right out of her. She was drinking so much water. She was so thirsty for that reason, because her body wasn't absorbing it. So along the way, I've learned all this information I've learned over time in how to help her. And within 30 days of just cleansing out the parasites and realizing that she had intolerances and eliminating those items, which was dairy, soy, and gluten. Now, the soy was fine because we didn't eat soy. However, when we eliminated gluten, every time we would go to order a gluten-free product, like let's say gluten-free pizza, majority of the time they put soy flour in it. So that was very tricky for us in the first year. When it come to dairy, I think the only thing that was a struggle was the cheese part. Milk and yogurt, ice creams, all that is fine. We worked around that. But the cheese for pizza. So that was the hard part. However, we found nutritional yeast, which is really good because it's a non-active yeast and it smells cheesy. And so we add that into when we make cashew cheese, or if we make a pizza, we sprinkle it on top. So there's ways around it. I've been challenged and I accepted the challenge, and mission is possible. So from that experience, we kept it going for a few years. And at that time, I still was eating animal produce, as in meats, because I hadn't had a breakthrough experience. It came later. So a couple of years ago, my former husband was diagnosed with cancer. And so what happened, we started to research more about that, and we found a natural way to help reduce. And after about 5 or 6 weeks of going all organic and juice fasting and water fasting and having traditional Chinese medicine treatments and seeing the osteo and meditating and all other modalities, I came up with the 7 pillars to self-care. Even though I was doing this all the time as a beauty therapist and teaching my clients about self-care, this was the perfect opportunity to put it into practice. And so in about 5 to 6 weeks, he reduced his symptoms by 40%, and it was remarkable. So from that point onwards, I decided, okay, I'm going to do this for myself so that I'm healthy for me. And that's the moment that there was a turning point for me. But it wasn't enough. It just turned me slightly. So after a couple of months, I mean, it was quite a stressful time when you think about it, when you're being told that the person you love has cancer. It was very stressful at the time. And when I was podcasting back then, putting up blogs. I was very sociable about it. I was expressing everything that I thought, and I actually lost a lot of followers. I lost a lot of clients from my salon and family as well. And, some say that that was perfect because you've got to remove people that aren't in alignment with you. And looking back now, even though it was hard, I can see after a couple of years, I've been able to be a lot more clearer in the decisions that I make because I'm not worrying about what other people think. It's about my health and putting myself first. But what had happened, because of all the stress and everything around the peer pressure we're going through, and just with the society standards when it comes to chronic illness, I was told that, this is very hard for me to share this story. My former husband said he wanted a divorce, even though we had been separated, and yes, we were working things out, and there was a chance maybe at working out. But there was also a chance at not working out. I wanted to hold that hope that we would be able to divorce amicably. That big word, amicably. Okay. And so it didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. And it was a very stressful time because my daughter and I were actually going away. We were going to Western Australia, and we didn't have anyone to house sit and look after the cat and dog. This is Charlie. For those that are listening, Charlie's sitting on my lap and loving this gorgeous oxytocin release massage. Yes, you want some more? He's looking up at me now. And so luckily one of my clients put her hand up and said, let me help you so you can still go on your holiday. But what had happened, because I was so angry, there was so much emotion that needed to be expressed, I actually stored that anger in my liver. And that's where we store our anger, is in the liver. And so I decided when we went to Western Australia to do a do-it-yourself retreat. Now, when I look back, what the hell are you thinking? Like, if someone said that to me now, I'd be like, no, you need supervision. Go find a retreat. Go do this with a health coach that is going to be there with you, because stuff's going to come up. Shit's going to hit the fan. And I thought, I'm fine. I've done all the work. Oh, yeah, I'm a holistic coach within myself. I'll be perfectly fine. Well, third day into this do-it-yourself retreat, when I started juice cleansing and relaxing and getting out in the sun and going into the beach and dissolving, yeah, shit came up. And by the fifth day, it hurt. The pain in my liver was excruciating, and I'm so lucky that I actually got on the plane. They weren't going to let me on. I contacted some people, some friends of mine. They said, just get some apple juice into you, because the malic acid will actually soften the bile that's blocking the passage there in the liver ducts, and you'll be able to get on the plane. But when you get home, you have to get checked out. And so that was the beginning of cutting out animal produce, because after I did all my tests, we found that I was quite inflamed, but conventional medicine couldn't actually see in the x-rays, in the scanning, they couldn't see anything going on. But on a metaphysical level, I was so angry that it was storing there. So I started my first flush experience, the journey, by water fasting, and then I was juice cleansing. You would hear, I always talk about Kabbalah juice, which has been designed by the Tolmans. And then I started eating solids, but I was steaming all my food so it was soft, and then doing raw. And we're coming into summer, so I was fully raw. And then I became a fruitarian during the day, but I introduced my vegetables at nighttime, and I felt amazing. I had been suffering with chronic fatigue, you see. I didn't even really understand chronic fatigue until after I went through my healing process, because I look back now and go, whoa, I was so tired back then. I could even tell you a story about a car accident that I had where I was so tired and I was just driving out from the car park on the side of the road in front of my daughter's school. And I thought the car in front of me, I had enough room to go around, but I scraped the side of my car. I didn't. It was actually it was a truck, and it had a pole sticking on the side of it, and I didn't see it. I just was just so fatigued. I was so tired. And I remember that day just pushing and pushing and pushing myself. And so that was a huge wake up call to say, hey, you need to rest. And why I was so tired? Well, chronic illness takes a long time to build for it to come to the surface as a symptom. So all the stress that I had gone through from when I was younger, all the stress that it was building up in my 20s, my marriage, the divorce, you know, I felt like I was in survival mode a lot of the times because I had a mortgage that I had to, upkeep the payments because I didn't want to end up homeless. And I also I never wanted to move because I had moved about 20 something times by the time I was 26. And I grounded my feet at 26 in my parents' home. This is it. And I said, I'm never moving out. I'm not going. Mum, Dad, when you're ready to sell the house, I'm buying it. And so I built my salon here and spoke to my parents about it beforehand to get the okay. And they thought it was a brilliant idea. And I just knew I'm going to be here. And when you're ready to sell, I'm staying on. And I bought it from them. And so it's been 10 years now that I've had the place for. But, a few years ago, I was really scared. And so all that anger, all that fear gets stored into our organs. And so when it gets too much, it's got to come out somehow. So for me, it came out through my liver, that pain, that excruciating pain. For others, it can come out of the skin. As a skin therapist, when my clients come to me with acne, straight away we have to work out what the root cause is. And we have to go back to a time where the first pimple had popped up. And most of the time they say in my teen years. So a lot of people think then it's hormone related. So we have to keep working on that. And as a facilitator, I send my clients out to the appropriate medical practitioners and facilitators, natural therapists, so we can get to the root cause of what's going on, and then we start to work from that level up. So instead of working on the symptoms, we find out where is it within us, mentally, physically, emotionally, and we look at all the areas. That's why I work holistically. So much that I've just explained to you then. So after that experience, and I become healthy, and little Miss was doing really well. She was just blossoming even more so on this new whole food, plant-based lifestyle. We decided this is us, this is who we're going to be, and we're going to stick to it. And it gets easier and easier because we're finding a lot of people that are into it, they're gravitating to us, and we're learning new recipes, and I'm always being challenged, and I love putting up my posts. Like, we've got a campaign at the moment for Yummy Mummy. It's called 14 Days of Food Holidays because we're on school holidays, and I'm uploading in the stories of Instagram and Facebook each day something that I'm making that you can make at home as a snack or a breakfast, lunch, or dinner meal that is plant-based and has a lot of vitamins and nutrients and minerals in it to help you to be your best self, to bring out the best qualities in you. Like, what are some best qualities? Is happiness and clarity. Because, when you think about it, what are the ones that are opposite? Mood swings is something that I definitely can understand. I definitely know from when I was a young girl, I would swing. And how I know that is because the people around me would say to me, whoa, you went, happy, then now you're sad, now you're happy again, what's going on? I mean, we've got to look at the environmental factors as well of why we have mood imbalancements as well as what are we eating. Summer and winter can also make it hard for us as well. I absolutely love summer. I'm a summer person, and some people don't do well in summer because it's too hot for them. So that's why I got into the study of Ayurveda. Now, I say it like an Australian, and every time I hang out with my Indian friends, they're like, "What's that?" And I show them the spelling, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, this is how you pronounce it." Well, I'm going to learn how to pronounce it in the Sanskrit way. One day I'm going to have the patience, but for now I call it Ayurveda. And what that actually means, it's a Sanskrit word that means life of longevity. It's wisdom and knowledge of life and longevity. It's a science of lifestyle. And I'm also now studying circadian medicine, which is all about the body clock. When to wake up, when to go to bed, when to work, when to rest, when to play. So I'm really excited about that because I've just learned that if we can reset our body clocks, we can actually dissolve intolerances. Actually, intolerance is an illusion. Let's do it. Let's reset our body clocks. So I've definitely done that many times over, reset my body clock. And now I'm teaching my daughter how to do that. And that would be brilliant because sometimes she does say to me, "Oh, it would be nice if we could just have wheat." However, today I spoke to a lady called Kathy Ashton. She is a medicinal nutritionist. She's going to be my next guest for a podcast that I'm going to be creating later in the week, which is going to come out next week. So if you want the notification for that, please press the subscription button. If you're on iTunes, Podbean, or on YouTube, you can also sign up and I'll send you an email which will have the direct links in there. And so that whenever you're free and ready to listen and watch, you just go into your email and go through and watch the ones that resonate with you. So Kathy Ashton's going to be coming on the show, and I was talking to her today. We were talking about lots of different things around whole food, plant-based lifestyle, and something that I learned today is that majority of us are gluten intolerant, and she got into the science with me, but I'm not even going to attempt to explain it to you today. I'm going to leave that for her. This is her specialty. For me, I'm a facilitator, so I'm happy to listen, be your sounding board, and get to the root cause of what's going on for you with the symptoms that you have. So if you'd love to work with me, you can. You can make a time. I love to have discovery chats where we can just talk about the symptom, and then we can work out what to do to start, where to start your journey in helping you become the best version of you, to bring out your truth. So whatever symptom it is that you're feeling or that you can see on your body, I would love to sit with you like this. And when I mean by like this, if you're watching on YouTube, we can jump on FaceTime, on Zoom, on Skype, and have a 20-minute chat. Those that are listening, we can even do it on the phone. We can call each other if you're in Australia. But if you're overseas, that's fine, because Messenger on Facebook is fantastic. We can just use our Wi-Fi and have a chat. So I'm going to put a link in the description where you can make an appointment with me. It will be a Calendly link. It goes straight to my calendar so you can see when I'm free. Book yourself in for a free one-on-one discovery chat with me. And I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks so much for listening. And as always, stay delicious. Bye.